I have had it with my boss's exotic pets. Welcome to the Crafty Cryptid, a channel dedicated to the dark, the strange, and the mysterious. If you enjoy this type of content, click subscribe and ding the notification bell. I post multiple times a week on chilling real and fictional events. Today, we are looking at a few stories from the r/short scary stories subreddit. This first story comes to us from Reddit user Sugar Sewed. My girlfriend Hannah and I have been going out for 2 years now. We moved into a nice house that is on the edge of town. We're still in the honeymoon phase of our relationship. She has a couple of weird rules that are kinda quirky, but it kinda makes me love her more. One of the rules that I think is the cutest is that we have to go to bed at the same time, so that one of us isn't waking up the other when they come in. One rule that she is very strict about is that she won't allow any guests over when it's her time of the month. She says that she hates for people to see her like that. I agreed to this rule as I want her to feel safe in her own home. My best friend of 14 years, Tom, doesn't approve of our relationship and is always trying to convince me to break up with her. He keeps telling me that I need to be sleeping with random girls while I'm still young. I keep telling him to drop it, but then he will mention it again a few weeks later. Hannah hasn't said anything bad about Tom, but I can see that what he says hurts her feelings. I was surprised to discover Tom standing outside our house yesterday evening. He was holding a case of beer and some snacks. He shoved his way past me and told me we were having a guys' night in. I told him that he had to leave as it was Hannah's time of the month. He just shrugged it off and said it would be fine. I finally told him he could stay as long as he didn't disturb her as she was relaxing downstairs. We ended up having a fun evening and watched a couple of movies we used to love as kids. I didn't think anything was amiss when Tom disappeared to use the bathroom. A few minutes later, I jumped out of my seat when I heard his screams of agony. I rushed downstairs to find his blood-soaked body lying on the ground. My girlfriend was sitting there chewing on his arm while the chains held her in place. I couldn't help but admire how beautiful her snout and fur looked in the moonlight. I gazed down at Tom's body and wished that he had listened to my advice and stayed away during her time of the month. Reddit users are so creative with the twists they write into their short stories. Let's look at another one that you might not be able to guess the ending to. This next story comes from Reddit user Lightning Nations. We work morning, noon, and night, 7 days a week, 364 days a year. The boss knows our deepest, darkest secrets. He can read our innermost thoughts like Wikipedia. If 20 years ago you cursed out your parents in a fit of hormonal teenage angst, he knows. If you unintentionally stole a pen from the bank and didn't return it, he knows. And if you ever think about quitting or complain about conditions in the factory, he most certainly fucking knows. We work the manufacturing line until our fingers weep blood, then we keep working. It's below freezing because a heater would be too expensive. Every so often, somebody cracks under the pressure. Like today, for instance. Jerry is done. He climbs onto his stool and shouts, "We can't go on like this. It's no way to live. We've got to do something." A murmur of disagreement goes up. We've seen what happens to dissenters. "Don't you understand we have the power? If we band together and seize the means of production, we can take control." We exchange glances, registering each other's expressions. We know Jerry's right, but nobody wants to speak up, to join him in the firing line. Jerry hurls his stool against the wall, where it splits apart with a startling thud. "If the boss gets his way, he'll keep us here until we drop dead. Let's..." At the far end of the factory, a door swings open. Everybody, including Jerry, lowers their head and gets back to work. The sound of heavy footsteps approach, accompanied by the smell of wet fur. I force myself not to look up. Jerry is hunched over, acting like nothing happened, like he never even had a stool. The footsteps stop behind him. From behind, the boss puts his hands on Jerry's shoulder. "It would seem Jerry is hungry for a change. Isn't that right, Jer?" There comes a bestial snarl. "No, sir," he replies, his voice trembling. "Don't be modest. I can see you've got big ideas. They're all right here in your head." "No, sir. I'm happy with the way things are, sir. I love my job." "Does anybody else fancy a change?" the boss asks. "No, sir," we answer in unison. "Good. Eyes on me, please." We stop working and look at the boss. His humongous belly seeps out over his belt line, and his favorite exotic pet is baring its teeth. "Let me show you what happens to elves who get good ideas," he says, and then snaps his fat fingers. In one sudden motion, his pet swallows Jerry whole, and then its red nose tilts toward the ceiling as it works him down its throat. "Good boy, Rudolph," the boss says, patting its head. He checks his watch and strokes his long white beard. "Well, what are you all waiting for? There's only 55 days until Christmas. Get back to work." We immediately fall into line, saying nothing. I know it's a bit early for Christmas-themed stories, but I couldn't help myself. This one was just creepy enough to be featured in this video, and perfectly poignant for the upcoming holiday season. Our last story also comes from Reddit user Lightning Nations. Growing up before the incident, I was always bragging about my mom. How could I not? She was so freaking smart. I'm talking mega smart. I'm talking professor of quantum physics who gives the keynote speech at international conferences smart. And as if that wasn't impressive enough, she did it all while raising me, alone. Let me tell you, if she ever struggled or felt worn down, it didn't show. She made that shit look easy. Eventually, my mom married her second husband. Then along came child number 2, my baby brother Alex, and Mom barely missed a step. But then, as I entered my teens, things took a turn. First, Grandpa and Grandma passed 2 weeks apart. Then my stepdad got shot, fatally. It was a wrong place, wrong time kind of thing. The killer fought the charges, and it turned into this drawn-out court battle. Justice prevailed eventually, but Mom aged 20 years in the space of 2. The universe handed her one final fuck you in the form of a road accident, which left her addicted to painkillers. After that, it was just the 3 of us, struggling to get by. Fast forward a few years. I got offered a scholarship at one of the country's most prestigious universities, and Mom insisted I go. I protested, said I couldn't abandon her and Alex, but she wouldn't let up. Now maybe I'm retroactively justifying leaving to absolve myself of the guilt, but in the summer before my first semester, Mom's mental condition really improved. Honest. Oh, sure, I caught her crying once or twice, but she seemed okay. There were no more manic episodes or days spent lying in bed. And so, confident that Alex and Mom would be fine, I packed my bags. It wasn't long before I got a call from a concerned neighbor. He was worried about Alex, said that no one had seen him since the diagnosis. Diagnosis? I asked. I thought you knew. Alex has leukemia. I caught the first flight home and found Mom sitting at a kitchen table, calmly sipping tea. Emma, what a lovely Where's Alex? I screamed. He's fine. Mom got up and led me into the basement, where a huge cream-colored box occupied the center of the room. He's in there, she said, her tone relaxed and casual, as if she'd just told me Alex was playing in the yard. I tried to open the steel door on the side of the box, failed, then rammed it with my shoulder again and again. Mom, what the fuck is going on? I screamed. Why is Alex in there? Well, he got sick, sweetie, and the doctors only gave him a 20% chance of surviving. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? An unsettling smile crept over her face. I decided to even the odds. Mom, what the hell are you talking about? She placed a hand on the side of the box. Emma, what do you know about Schrodinger's cat? What an interesting twist. Do you have your own favorite Reddit short stories? Share them with us in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to subscribe and ding the notification bell to be updated when I post next. I upload multiple videos every week. Leave a thumbs up and a comment for the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for watching, and come back soon, cryptids.